We don't do something, there's a strong possibility if we don't have a sense of urgency about where we want to go and what we're trying to accomplish with our life, it's a strong possibility if we stay in this particular environment, that can one day be us. And I said, I don't know about you, but that ain't gonna be me. I said, I'm gonna do some things differently. I know everybody in our family have dropped out, went to prison, ended up in certain situations. I said, but that's not about I'm gonna do things a little bit different. And we wanted to go to the NFL, wanted to go to college, wanted to do all these things, but every day we stepped out of our door, we would get hit with murder, we would get hit with robberies, we would get hit with drug dealers, and we would constantly see it, so much so to the point to where I would say, God, will my environment get me or will I make it? I know I'm driven. I know I'm ambitious. I know I'm passionate. I know I want to make it happen. I know I'm respectful. I know I never touch drugs, and I never will because I see the collateral damage. But will my environment, the thing that I'm coming in contact with every single day, will that snipe me and not my ambition and not my commitment and not my dedication? Or will you let me make it past this so I can show others that it could be done?
Action.
What's good? Welcome to episode 2 of the Summertimers podcast. Man, appreciate all the positive feedback you guys gave us first episode. Man, we really appreciate the support. Everybody was reposting us, just giving us feedback of how we did, what we could be got better at. We actually had a couple people reach out, asking to join on. We ain't gonna speak on those names yet, but we gonna have some guests, come through. They want to come support the Sometimes podcast. But let's get started. On this episode, we're gonna go in depth of each other. Our first episode, we was kind of took on everything that was happening at that moment. George Floyd. Well, not even just George Floyd, but just COVID, police brutality. We've all felt that, we had to, talk about that first, make that our first episode. Now we want to take a step back and let you guys know, who you guys are talking to and dealing with on this podcast. So, first question we got is where everybody's from and how was it growing up where we came up from? Anybody want to start off on that?
I mean, I could start off with, we can say the best for last, so it don't matter.
Oh, I guess I'm going last.
That boy from New Jersey, everybody. He
Alright, see. Now I gotta go ahead and step in, let the folks know. Alright, I'm gonna start off. So I'm from BK all day, Brooklyn. I'm born and raised. I've been in the same spot since the day I was born, but around my way, I ain't gonna state no specifics, but I grew up in the hood, which I feel like you can say is a blessing and a lesson at the same time. So growing up was tough, but I did have like good support, like a good support system along the way, meaning like even being a little kid, just running around on the block and stuff, like you had like, older dudes that you would look up to as brothers, or older guys that looked out for you no matter what, or whatever the case is. So it had its ups and downs, but it's definitely molded me to who I am today, in terms of my mindset, looking at things, helping to build like street smarts along with book smarts, which is definitely ideal to being able to execute certain stuff in life. So yeah, I'm keeping it short and vague,
All right.
Well, I'm from Fort Myers, Florida, aka Little Pakistan, South City. But down here it was tough in certain ways, because if you didn't have sports, and I guess we all can kind of relate, if you didn't have sports, you would be in the streets and doing stuff that you wouldn't normally be doing. So here I just played sports, try to stay out the streets and stuff. So I normally, it shielded me from a lot, I would say.
Y'all know. I mostly.
Nah, we don't. Let them know.
Hey. Y'all know. Like, I spent like the first half of my life in Alabama. I grew up mostly on a damn farm, boy. About 100-some acres.
That boy
Straight
Dr.
boonies back
Doolittle
there.
when making.
Hey, Jones.
But like, I spent most of the time like with my mama and my grandparents and them in Gaston, Huntsville, Monroeville, all them areas over there. And like most of the time, like we never had no house. We like always like apartment to apartment. So like I moved a lot when I was little and shit. I went to different schools all the time. And then it wasn't until about 3rd grade when I came to Florida. But I'm gonna say it's only different because I ain't know what nobody was saying when I first got here because niggas talk with like they country as hell, but they try to have like a ghetto accent with it. And the words slur together, they talk fast. Everybody was saying jit. I didn't know what jit was because we don't say that in Alabama.
When they was talking, you had to Mr. Krabs face.
Oh yeah. First day I pulled up to the gym, I had to go to a game. I'm like in 4th grade. Nigga calling my goddamn, we talk for boy. How tall are you, boy? What you here, jit? Oh, you here, jit? I said, You know, I'm courteous. I'm like, who you talking to? I'm talking to you. I said, I'm wrong. See, I was taller than everybody. He thought I was like 14, 15. But I'm like fucking 10, 11. Nigga finna whoop me. I'm only 10 years old. Nigga about 24. I was like, come on, man.
But I thought he could be 7 feet.
And then I thought I was, to be real with you. But the area I'm from, y'all don't know. I'm from Polk County. Nice little area.
County.
Y'all come on down to
He
Florida
nasty,
one time.
though, bro.
What you saying, Kel?
I said he nasty.
Ain't nasty in the motherfucking Covington, nigga. Conyers. Ain't know what goddamn boots from.
Uh-oh.
Guess we take that into you. Go ahead. Speak on your town, bro.
But yeah, that's all. I now moved to great old Haines City, Florida, the country ghetto.
Well, I guess I'll go next. I was born in Los Angeles, California.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, bro! Y'all to see my birth certificate, bro.
You don't even remember what.
Niggas want to be from Cali so bad, man.
I never said I was from. I just said I was born there. But we can search up my birth certificate right now. We're gonna edit that in to show everybody. But
Can you put your social security on there too?
Yeah, put it on there.
Nah, the social security's not on there, man. I know they ain't on there.
And then put one of your cards to see if it match. We gonna edit that in.
Nigga, my social security not on there, man.
Yeah, definitely need that.
Nigga. But yeah, I had moved here when I was like 1 or 2. Moved to Conyers, Georgia. When I was young, I just wanted to be a truck driver. Never want to play no sports. So I got about middle school. And I moved to Covington. It's like the next city over next to Conyers. Started playing basketball about 7th, 8th grade. I didn't want to play really. Then, I got to high school. It was garbage. Garbage all through probably my senior year. I was good garbage. Then got to college,
Hold on,
yeah,
bro.
man,
I don't know if there's
really
ever
all
such
right
thing as good garbage. It's
Yeah.
it's garbage for a reason.
Are you venting right now, my boy? You venting?
What?
Garbage.
He just went through the stages of his life.
We are not the field, bro.
Hey, what about you though, Marlon?
All right, go last. You know what they say. Nah, bro, I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota.
St. Paul?
Yeah, I'm from the heart of Minnesota, the heart of St. Paul. I didn't move over. I didn't move over east until a little older. But basically, growing up there, most people, when they meet me, they like, I didn't know there was black people in Minnesota. So, well, yeah, there is black people in Minnesota, and as you can see, what just happened when you poke the bear.
Oh my God!
Don't be surprised.
Hey,
Don't be
Marlon,
surprised.
I already knew about Minnesota, cuz.
when the bear
knew
get
about
up and
Minnesota.
whoop your ass.
I see y'all gonna take this. Y'all gonna use
Look,
this momentum, huh?
But yeah, growing up there, I would say kindergarten through 6th grade, I went to a private school. It was a all-black private school that I went to.
Make money.
Yeah, I was bad, but you know, I feel like you know, having a father figure and a strict mom, you know, really helped me and guided me to the person I am today, and you know, get me through school and with everything sports. So you know, just basically, um, you know, having two parents, not living in the same household, but you know, just being there and working as a team really affect me in my life. So you know, growing up, I'm not gonna say it was all peaches and cream. You know, I've you know went through some things. You know, like I said, there's hoods in Minnesota just like there is anywhere else. Like, so I didn't see some stuff, been around some people, even like close friends of mine, and you know, I just chose to go a different direction. Like I just spoke about elementary, middle school. I went to, you know, probably one of the worst middle schools in Minnesota, over on the east side of St. Paul, called Battle Creek. That was an eye opener for me. Really had to stand up for myself 7th, 8th grade year, because if I didn't, you was gonna get punked or you was gonna get beat up. But I'll say high
Took a lot of
school
ass
was cool.
whoopings, huh?
Nah, I mean, I ain't gonna sit here and say I won every fight, but
You win some, you lose some. But you live. You live to fight another day.
yeah. But as far as growing up in Minnesota, going to high school, I went to a mix. It was white and blacks. You know, it was cool. But like I said, just like every other place, like Minnesota is just like every other place, man. Like you got your goods and you got your bad.
Speaking of that, Marlon, what was like your childhood like in Minnesota? Like more in depth about it. Like, what did you normally do?
So my childhood, like I don't like when I was in kindergarten. So when I turned 6 years old, I started playing contact football, like with equipment. So as soon as I started walking, like literally, like my dad signed me up for like every sport, like for every, you know what I'm saying, like every season. So like I played basketball, soccer, baseball, track, every sport you can think of, you know what I'm saying? And that was really my childhood that was, you know what I'm saying, like playing sports. Like that's how I made all my friends, you know, was from the teams I was being a part of, and then, you know, a couple of my teammates, we all going to the same school. But just like any other child, you know what I'm saying, I went and played outside and stuff. You know, I wanted like I said, I was bad when I was little. I wanted the best behaved kids. So I used to do stupid stuff and get my my ASS whoop.
Okay, hold on, Marlon. You did all that with that leg, or all the whooping give you that leg?
Look, man, my leg ain't all. Look, I broke my ankle freshman year. I ain't been the same since.
Yeah, stupid. They couldn't hold that one in.
Hey, man, look.
All right, I'm gonna speak on my song. My childhood, I ain't gonna lie. I was adventurous. Like I was the good kid, but mischievous on the low. So pretty much my childhood normally consisted of, you know, just being outside. Like as soon as I heard my friends, it wasn't even no like cell phone calling. It's like your friends calling you from the window, or you just hear basketball bouncing outside and you look outside, it's them. So I was outside a lot, either, you know, backyard playing at the park or in the backyard, or just, you know, being adventurous around the block. I'm talking about I was climbing gates, climbing buildings, doing graffiti tags, like, and then getting scrapes and bruises all along. But My childhood, it was fun, but definitely saw and learned a lot of things on the way. Because obviously, you know, no matter what age you are, you know, your environment doesn't change too much. You know, pretty much like where you're growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like the hood is still gonna be the hood. So you know what I'm saying? And a lot of things don't got your name on it. So, but like I said, you know, I grew up in a good support system in terms of like my family and people just on the block that would look out for me and like my friends that were smaller at the time. But yeah, I did a lot of adventuring when I was younger.
Yo, we got one. We got one.
I'm talking about your mom got it. I'm talking about mom got to call me out the window when it get too late. Come inside.
But see, that's how I know we ain't the same. Cause when I was young, we had to be home before the street light came on.
Okay.
Yeah, getting whooped.
Okay. No, I ain't whooped yet. Getting drugged.
He said I was willing enough to take that risk.
But for me, my childhood down here, basically, me and my cousins used to always race down the street barefoot, and so we used to play. I don't know what y'all call it. We call it manhunt, nigga knock. So we basically did that if we went outside with our uncles. I ain't gonna tell you what we were doing, but if we was outside with our uncles and stuff. But I remember, I was a bad kid. I used to throw stuff, break people's windows.
Yo, that just brought back memories.
Hey, so then I remember my grandma stayed right across the street from the elementary school I went to, and for some reason, I think the teacher made me mad or something, and I knew my grandma stayed across the street, so I jumped the gate and basically ran away from school to my grandma's house. So I'm calm now, but back then, man, I was so bad. Like it was crazy. Thank God for change.
Man. Yo, as a kid, you ever realize that you feel like you never run out of energy low key? Like you always running, always doing like some hype. Like you never run out of energy for real.
Exactly.
For real. Well, my childhood the same way I live right now. I ain't do nothing, bro. I stay in the house, mind my business, don't talk to nobody. And like I didn't do shit. Well, it's crazy though. Like even though I ain't talk to nobody, I still had like hella friends to go outside, play with, park. It was weird though. It was like a lot of people knew of me, but I didn't know them personally. I know their face, but I didn't know their name. So like we go outside, do stupid shit. Like I'm busting up cans of paint just to do that shit. Swinging that bitch hard as fuck on the ground, got paint everywhere. I'm out there breaking shit outside just to break it, throwing shit in the lake. Out there, like in Alabama, in our apartments, on the backside was like a little hill that went down like this. But over the hill, like one of the little things for the water right there. And on the other side is woods. We used to ride our bike down the hill. We try to see who'd be able to get the farthest before you get into the woods. But a couple times, nigga went down that bitch like that, flew up in the air, went right in the thorn bushes every time. She hurt.
Man, we used to do. Yo, you just reminded me of some reckless stories. Yo, we used to. Me and my friends try to throw a rock. See who could throw a rock the farthest with no remorse or regards to what it's gonna hit, who is gonna hit. We just launching rocks. Then we do dumb stuff. Like y'all love ghost ride bikes where you riding on a bike and just let that shit go.
Oh
yeah.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
We do that.
Man, we used to do some reckless shit, bro.
And then like in the country, like I don't know if y'all know what banana spiders are, but it's like hella banana spiders in Ocala. So we be outside.
Grass spiders?
Yeah, banana spiders. They're like this big, like yellow and black. We just get big ass rocks and we just chucking the bitch at signs, banana spiders, or we'll start a fire and get some fire. And when the spider says on fire, take off running. And just be doing shit like that.
Don't you know no good?
Don't you know no good? Don't you know no good? Don't you know no good? Don't you know no good? Don't you know no good? Don't you know no good? Don't you G-O-O-D? Don't you know no good?
don't got a problem with white people, but this one white boy,
Uh-oh.
man.
Oh
we
man.
we was little kids. I ain't well, it's bad on this part. We outside, we little kids. We talking about building a goddamn treehouse and shit. We like, oh, let's build a treehouse. We find some wood out there for wood, and the goddamn woods. I turn around this man and find a goddamn rusty knife. I'm looking at him like, he a little close to me with that goddamn knife, but back up. This man, next thing I know, I turn around, this man stabbed himself in the kneecap with a rusty knife.
Oh shit! I seen that on Dog Ways to Die.
And when I told you I ran up out of there so quick, I didn't even know it near that white boy. I ran home. Mom, that boy stabbed himself. He stabbed himself. I didn't want to blame me talking about, oh, the black boy stabbed. Oh, black boy didn't do that. I got one more bad thing I did all the time, bro. I used to stomp on ant beds. I don't know why I did that shit, but I learned my lesson.
I did that shit too.
I stepped on one, had a big ass bite on my wrist, the whole side of my wrist. That bitch just swelling like.
Them motherfuckers climbing your damn wrist, man.
God, bro, I was stomping them bitches and kicking that bitch.
So my childhood, it was pretty good. My brother, he really taught me, don't take no shit from nobody, shit like that. And my parents, they separated when I was like in 5th grade. In 6th grade, I had threatened to stab a dude. I was just playing with him though. The other dude I went to high school.
You just said that regular, like it's calm shit.
Nah, because me and one of my friends had like a kitchen knife or something. And there was a dude I knew, he was with his friend. I ain't gonna say what color he was, but he was with his friend. And I knew the dude from my school. And I told him I would shank him. And I was just playing. And next day I went to school, they had called me to check my locker and stuff like that. And at lunch, I told dude, I was like, bro, I was just playing. He said his friend had called the police and shit like that. I was like, man, shut up. But yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know. I did some wild shit, man. Yeah, man. But other than that, I feel like lived a pretty good childhood,
Okay. Well, with everybody, with all the stories we came up with, is there anything that any of y'all could say that y'all specifically learned, or something that growing up where you did, like that it taught you that you carry with you today? So like, mentality wise.
Boy, coming from Polk County, you got to have a very strong mental, because all niggas do here is hate, boy. They mad that they can't do it themselves and see you doing it. I would do it, talk shit. That's why when I came to Payne, it was a perfect environment for me. I was used to that.
He's used to that.
I actually played better when they talk shit to me. Your own crowd talk shit to me. I was like, well, damn. What type of home court advantage is this?
I think for me, it was somewhat like that. Like Chandra was saying, being from Fort Myers, you have to have a strong mental, because for some reason here it's they don't kind of like, certain ones are glorified, but most of it is a lot of hating and stuff. So here you just have to have that mentality, like, F everybody else, I'm gonna make sure I make it out for me and mine. So that's the mentality that I always had, because here it's a lot of hating, but such is life, I guess.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I ain't lie. Like, with me, I feel like it kind of goes with everybody, or just where you're from back at home. Like, people don't want to see you do better than them.
Back up, Marlon, back up.
They rather you, be in the same spot they are doing nothing. Or, nobody want to see you achieve or get past them. So, like, as far as like with me, just being able to take risk. Like, I feel like a lot of people are growing up, the people that did take risk became successful. Like, and the people that stayed stagnant and thought it was what they was doing was cool at that time, is still doing the same thing they doing now. Like,
Yeah, that's a fact, especially in my hood too.
Yeah.
Even growing up too, like at this age, like you still find people around that was doing the same things or still in the same state when you was younger.
Exactly.
Yeah, one thing I learned though to carry me too is just like to always be aware of your surroundings, like, and that's just something with anywhere you go. Like, I don't know, it just with me to always know where I'm at, always to know like who around, like certain areas or crowds. Like I gotta have my back to the wall, like just to be aware of like where you at, just for cautious reasons. Sometimes you could be in an environment where you're pretty good, but it's still something that can only help you. You know what I'm saying? It's not nothing that can hurt you anyways. And then, of course, like with what y'all said too, everybody, some people, they might want to see you do good, but never better. So
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part to life, I guess. But I feel like maybe this is a story for all of us, but sports or, maybe chasing a certain thing from a young age definitely kept us in that 1%,
Yeah.
So,
Well, you know what? Piggyback what Marlon said. I feel like life is about taking risks. Live once, man. You got to do what you want to do. Don't let what everybody tells you to do. Do what you feel like was right. With that being said, what are some issues you guys dealt with growing up?
I feel like the whole state of Florida is a
I feel like mine would probably
state.
I think I was probably.
What'd you say, Sean?
Oh, I thought it froze. I was saying, I feel like the whole state of Florida is a dangerous ass state. Everywhere you go, that shit dangerous.
Yes, sir.
You be in the country, get your ass lit up by a Uzi. In the city, get shot. You talk shit at the park playing basketball, you shot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You need to get on bugs.
What?
Exactly.
See, I tell you, I was at the park with my little brother and my cousin, I think last summer. We just sitting there chilling, talking to some Puerto Rican dudes. And all of a sudden, I see like a group of 4 behind me. I'm thinking, I seen them before. So I was like, all right, everyone pull to come play basketball with us. All of a sudden, he just sucker punched dude with a mean ass hook. Boy, they're fighting, but got kicked in the nuts. Next thing I know, he pulled out like a 6-inch blade. I don't know where that blade came from, where he had that bit hidden, but he had a big ass blade. I said, oh yeah, he finna die today. I got to go. Let's see, you can't play basketball while getting stabbed.
Well, with me, simply gang violence, gun violence. I done seen some crazy stuff. Like, literally, it was even a case where somebody got shot in the head, like across the street from where I stay at. Like, I'm talking about to that point, or you getting off the train too late, and you got to walk past a group, or you see a group of dudes at the corner and shit, and that's the only way home. Man. And then, like, especially in around my way too, like, or even in general, like, I feel like you don't always want to wear certain colors or too much of a certain color because assumptions is made. That's how you get approached. So, and those are some of the stuff too. I used to watch what I used to wear. You know what I'm saying?
I think for me, it was basically like the gang stuff, just the street life. That was something that was so easy to be, and you can be in it so easily. So thank God I had sports and stuff. But and my older cousins, they was like in that street life, and they made sure since I was playing sports that I didn't do it. So they kind of made sure. And I throw this in. I think that when people know you are blessed at something, and they don't even let you get into that type of stuff.
Yeah,
so
that's a good crowd. Yeah.
Exactly. Even though
that's a good crowd to have.
Yeah. So I would just say the street life in Fort Myers is something that a lot of people fall into, and I'm glad I didn't. But yeah, that was probably the biggest challenge and issue maybe for me.
Hey, Zay, a quick question. Not quick question, a statement. Name some gangs in Fort Myers.
But look at here. Look.
got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, rams, hogs, dogs, chicken, turkeys, rabbits, you name it!
Trying to see if there's any gangs out there that's over here.
Like it's like the neighborhood. So you got Harlem Lake, you got the Cat Boys, you got who else? Sable Palm. Like it's just different, basically different neighborhoods. They got their little gangs in it and stuff.
Oh,
I used to
I
stay in
thought
the
they had
Cat.
some gangs like them GDs and shit. I
No,
was
no, I
gonna
don't
say,
know.
oh,
I don't know what that is.
yeah, like them Sir 13, the Mexican Sir 13s.
Oh,
And, you know,
no.
Haitians not a gang, but they was a family. Fuck one Haitian, you fuck with all the Haitians.
I'm
There's
trying to tell you.
always one Haitian with a blade. Somebody got a blade. You don't know which one of them got it. But somebody got a blade.
Dang. Yeah, my Haitian boys. Ooh,
And one of them got his shirt off.
ooh,
And one of them got a shirt off with a flag in his back pocket. Don't fuck with him. That'd be the last thing you do. You would not
dang.
survive. It's over with.
So if Marley, you can answer this one for me. If you could tell the youth and anybody in the world some advice, what would it be?
Ooh,
To
that's a
be
good
honest,
one.
just to be yourself, no matter who you're around. Stand up for what you believe in, because like we live in a day and age where now we're so social media heavy, and if you don't like something that somebody else don't like, then you get made fun of, or certain people don't mess with you. So just no matter what it is, what you believe in, even if it could be just you and another person and everybody else think differently, stand on that, because I feel like you would get more respect in the end. And like, I feel like that's what like anything though, like, you know, you asked me that what would I tell, you know, the younger generation, but even now, even, you know what I'm saying, being grown, like, it's just a simple fact of you sitting around, you know, faking, you know, just because of who you're around, that you know, you're this and that. Like, I don't know,
Do anything
just
for
be real
clout.
with yourself.
Exactly. How about
Hey,
you,
that's a
RJ?
good question. I was gonna say that's a good question. So it might be a little difficult, but I would like for everybody to try and say something differently, because that might be good, especially for you never know who's watching or tuned in, so they can take something away from it. So I guess to sum up, Marlon, you're pretty much saying that you know you should be yourself. That's what you're kind of saying.
Yeah, be yourself, and you know, don't take shit from nobody. Like, what I've learned, you know, I would say, you know, it takes a lot for me to get mad, but I've also learned like everybody that's in power starts off mean, and then they show you their soft side later, but they have to always come off firm. So, and that's, you know, that's just for me working, you know, just being around, you know, other people, and it's just like, you know, don't let nobody run over you. You get more respect if you stand up for yourself, no matter who it is or how big they are.
So, RJ, if you could tell the youth or anybody listening any advice, what would it be?
That is an awesome question. There's a lot of things that come to mind, but one of the first few, even if it's like advice to myself, I think I'm gonna go with like always bet on yourself, no matter what happens. You know, for example, you know, you can be around a you know, a group of friends that y'all do the same thing together, but certain things might seem like it's more in their favor for them than it is for you. But if you find something that drives you, that you really love, you know, that makes you happy, and it doesn't seem to go your way, no matter what, you know, you're in that position for a reason. God doesn't put you in any position that you can't handle. So again, just to bring it back around in the circle, no matter what you're striving to be, striving to do, no matter what, first thing is you always gotta have faith in yourself, and everything else will follow. Like when you don't lose faith in yourself, then you know it's hard to pretty much, for that pattern to follow. So, as long as you continue to bet on yourself, that's my main piece of advice, because you'll see it come
Okay.
into fruition.
And you said before the next person go, you said don't lose faith. But what would you say to someone that might have already lost the faith? Can you speak on that real quick?
That's a good one too. So somebody that might be going through a tough time and has lost faith in the position or something they're going through. Once again, you are never in a position that you cannot handle. Everybody gets put in certain scenarios and situations because there may be certain things that God feels that you need to work on specifically. Everybody's scenario is not the same, but that's just what creates your story, and the uniqueness of anyone's story in general. The details to your story is what I personally feel like just makes all the difference in the world. It can make the difference, even if it makes a difference in the life of one person. That just is the first step. So, I don't know if that answered the question, but pretty much, again, if you've lost faith, you're not in a position that you cannot handle. So you can always take a step back. And what I would say is never quit, even if you need to rest, but never quit. But just continue on. Just keep on keeping on.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Almost there. Keep swimming.
Hey, to add on to that, you always remember too, like it's always somebody that's in a worse situation than you are. So you got to think about that.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, that's something that stuck with me too. I was in a locker room at one point for a team I was playing on, and we actually had a kid that we call like our team member, as a part of our team, and he was going through a lot of medical history and a lot of medical issues and problems. That was going to make him unfortunate to be able to play the sport like we were, or just be able to probably play sports, period. So, we used to bring him in for games and stuff like that just to make him feel loved and a part of the team. And of course, the message along with that, which the coach would tell us, is that, no matter what you're going through or how things are, it can always be worse. And I swear that has always stuck with me for years. It could always be worse.
Yes, sir.
It could always be worse.
And some advice I would give out as well would be, you don't have to be a product of your environment. And what I say is like, to like kids, like just because you grow up in the hood and stuff, doesn't mean you have to do the things that everyone else in your neighborhood is doing. You shouldn't be down on yourself because you grew up poor or in a bad neighborhood. You shouldn't give yourself poor standards, smaller standards. You should actually raise your standards so you can get out of where you are. And if your friends aren't doing right, you don't have to follow them go down that path. You should want better for yourself. You shouldn't be sitting there and, like I was saying, like, you shouldn't just be like, using it as an excuse of you being from the hood and being poor is why you out here acting out, stealing, robbing people, just doing the wrong things. But you can really be out there and find a craft. It don't have to be sports. You can be a painter. You can do like hands-on things, like technicians, all type of things. A swimmer.
Exactly.
So you don't have to be a product of your environment and just better yourself, because it's better out there. Everyone has an equal opportunity for more. You just gotta go out there and be willing to go get it.
That's a good one. You could be a dude from the hood. You ain't gotta be a hood dude, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, some advice I would give is, always have confidence in yourself. I feel like growing up, I ain't really have, confidence in myself really. But I feel like, that takes you a long way. Because if you ain't got confidence, then, you really can't do shit. You ain't gonna have belief in yourself that you can, do something in life. But yeah, I'll just say have confidence in everything you do. Confidence is key.
Hey, I got a question for y'all. And this is a little side note.
Wait, hold on. I don't think Zell gave his piece of advice, did he?
Oh no, I ain't go yet.
Yeah, I need some words of wisdom. I need some words of wisdom from the wise man himself.
Yeah. Let me see. I'll say what I normally always say whenever I speak to people. When it's the only advice I would say, I think is the most important, and we can all attest to it. The circle around you is so important because it's been times for me, for example, it's been times where I've had to come to y'all and be like, tell me what I should do because I'm trying to go this way and it might not be the best decision, but I know when you got good people around you in your circle, they'll tell you what is right, not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. And sometimes you might be mad with them for a while, but when you look back, you be like, they told me the best information that I needed. So I think that's so important. The circle around you can either help you or hurt you, in my opinion. So for anybody listening, the youth or anybody older, I would just say get a good circle around you. And if you have to question if you in the right circle, you probably not in the right circle. It should be no doubt that the people around you want good for you. So that would be my advice to anybody. Make sure your circle is a good circle to be in.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ronzel Evans.
That's very important.
I ain't gonna lie. What kept me above water is I always remember where I was from and how much I fought. And you probably ain't tell me nothing I ain't never heard before or nothing I ain't been through before. So it was just like, another bump in the road.
I look at it like this. What I used to tell myself is I want to turn every test into a testimony. Come on, somebody.
Come on now.
Ooh, I said a test into a testimony.
Yeah.
But
wait, hold on. Can you say it one time for the people in the back?
I said a test, turn a test into a testimony.
Holy dance. And I would say another key component, we already said it once, but I'm going to reiterate on it. Another key component to being a college athlete is having a strong mentality. If you don't have a strong mental, the crowd's going to get to you, the coach going to get to you, that dude playing under you going to get to you, and then yourself and your own mind going to get to you. All that will, on top of them classes too, that would definitely break you. You got to have a strong mental.
Exactly.
So that's why you continue to bet on yourself, like I had mentioned before. But go ahead, Zell. I ain't mean to cut you off.
Exactly. No problem. I was just gonna ask, since we all are from different places around the world, and we all sort of have the same upbringing, but not exactly, I want each person to tell the viewers and listeners, what are you most proud of being from where you're from?
Oh, shit.
We're going to start that off. Marlon sound like you got something.
For me, to be honest, man, like I was never I guess the star of anything I've been a part of, or like the main person or the go-to. So just to make it out and to be doing what I'm doing, and I'm not even saying like what I'm doing right now is just also amazing, but just to be living on my own, leaving home and just conquering life. Like I said, like I'm not perfect, but just the simple fact to know that I'm making progress and moving in the right direction, I would say is the biggest accomplishment for me.
Good. Well, I'll go. for me, the biggest accomplishment, the thing I'm most proud of being from Fort Myers would have to be the fact that I actually am still here, because it's from here, it's a lot of people that didn't get to see 19, didn't get to see 20, 21. So every year, every day, I'm really thankful because I know in where I'm from, it's so easily to be taken from me. So I think that's the most proudest thing I'm doing, because every day it's a young kid around that's looking at me, knowing I'm from the same streets, the same hood that they from, and I made it out. So I'm just proud of that. Anything else, yeah, I went to college, played, graduated, but just being an example, not saying I'm 100% perfect or anything like that, but just being a positive example that he stayed next door to me. He made it through the same struggles I did, and he made it out. I think that gives me the most joy, honestly.
So I'm gonna piggyback off of what Zell said, because well, I definitely agree with both Marlon and Zell said, but piggybacking off that, what I can say I'm most proud of being from Brooklyn, especially like my neighborhood specifically, is just not being considered what society would say a statistic. So that can be looked at in different ways, but I feel like if that's a term when brought up in conversation can most of the time might be derogatory. So, the statistic meaning, dropout, or whether if it's jail, or in that kind of term, not knocking anybody or anything like that, but just being either one of the few or one of the none that's just been keeping on, like literally just I can, for like, when people now see me around, like the ones I grew up with and just around my way, it's just like, from where I started, they're just like, wow, like, sometimes you might even see somebody around your way that you probably surpassing them in certain stuff you're doing in life, or the position that you're just simply in. And I'm just proud of that, for that. And I guess that comes with having a good support system, having those certain goals that you may set for yourself being younger. I can probably, like, it's always a good feeling, especially when you make it to a certain part in life where you came from, because not everybody's fortunate enough to be in that position. And sometimes it's stuff they can't control, but that just goes back to what I was talking before about just being able to everybody's in a certain position for a reason, and life is not always about what happens to you, but as we can all know and say, is how you respond to it. So
Exactly.
I can simply say that I am proud that from where I'm from, that I responded in the best way possible.
I would say that, like, I'm just proud of the fact that I'm part of that group of people who made it to college from here. So it's like, our county, we mostly a football county, so it's like a lot of people play Division I football, Division II football. I don't really know a lot of people play D2 football from here. They are either at high major D1, they went to JUCO. Here, like one of the other, they either at UL, Florida State, Texas Tech or something, or they had to go somewhere. But not a lot of us here play college basketball. And I'm just glad to say that I made it to like the Division II level, because I know some people a couple of them who went to a JUCO, but they never finished past like first semester. That first year, stick out and keep on going in classes and stuff like that. So I would say from this area, I'm just glad that I wasn't a product of my environment and being one of the corner boys and sitting there. And there was plenty of times I was thinking about that pain dropping out. I was like, forget these classes, forget this basketball program that they program, forget all that, bro. I was like, I'm gonna go home, go be with my brothers,
But that factory.
That boy there. But
And another quick thing too. I don't know if you've done it or not. I didn't mean to cut you off, Sean, too.
I'm
But
finished.
for the people that's watching, if you, how can I put this in simpler terms? If as you continue on in life and you feel like your circle is getting smaller, majority of the time you're probably doing something right. So
Come on.
you tend to lose people on the way when you're doing better for yourself because everybody is not on the same headspace as you or the same mindset as you, and everybody just simply can't go where you're going. I mean, that's the reality of the situation. And at that point in time, if you want to figure out which one matters more, do you want to be in the same position or elevate? It's like, it just levels to it. But
And also
for
with
now.
that, like showing what matters more and you moving on. If those friends you had before, is moving on or with you, or say if they don't because, due to the circumstances and they still, show support and are, still in their corner, that goes to show you, who your real friends are and the ones that aren't, that go quiet, when
Right.
you are doing something or so, you always got to pay attention to that also too.
Exactly.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm at that point in my life now. Is for those that my friends that aren't here today, I have no ill will towards them because sometimes, how does that one quote go, RJ? Seasonal people.
Woo! He going again, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh
Hold
my.
on. It's not exact quote, but I think it's like you can't have lifetime expectations for like seasonal people and yeah, something like that. But that first part, let's leave it at that. You can't have lifetime expectations for seasonal people.
And before Cam goes, I would just say we all have made it to a certain level and beat the odds. And sometimes I find myself just telling myself, if God does nothing else for me, you've already done enough. It's like I'm already so blessed. So no matter what somebody else, whatever expectations might be of me, I've already beat the odds in so many ways. So that's something I always tell myself.
And
So
for us, all simply, us too. Well, me, you, and Marlon, and now Sean, Don, all being graduates of HBCU. That speaks. That
Hold
speaks.
on now, bro.
That speaks some words, speaks levels in itself. But I just want to say something real quick about what Marlon said too. Like, if you, again, if you continue to elevate in life and your circle gets smaller, you can have friends. Like, not saying you just cut everybody off. I mean, sometimes that might be the scenario. But if you cut certain people off or don't talk to them no more, and they understand, there's a difference to those that are quiet. When you do end up doing that, the real friends will understand why you're doing it, that you need to do it. But the ones that may feel some way about it, maybe it wasn't good from the start. It was good while it lasted, but hey.
And then, all right, before Cam, because we getting on a conversation that's getting good. I think a lot of relationships and friendships are just because that's the people that you're around so much. I think you really understand who your true friends are when you don't have to be around them every day, but you still so connected.
Right.
Like, cause we've all been on teams, we all played together. It's a lot of people that we were teammates with, but weren't friends, or some people that we talk with every day during the season that we don't talk to now. It's just because we was always together.
Right.
So I think a lot of people get that confused, like, oh, that's my real friend, other than that's just somebody that I'm always with.
Right.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
Ken, what are you most proud of being from Georgia?
Yeah, you might want to jump in, bro, before we keep going.
Oh my God! But I'm proud that I never gave up on myself. It's just a couple of times. I thought about swimming. Nah, I was playing. But yeah, I'm
Second
happy I
time you
made
done
day one
said
for
that, I
myself.
think we starting to believe you, bro.
Let me
Nah.
tell y'all a story about that though. So
Oh Lord.
one day I was at AU game, and my dad, I was playing city as hell, and my dad was like, "Hey man," he was around my friends and all that. I'm friends, two of my best friends, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm not finna keep wasting my damn money, and you come out here bullshitting." He said, "You can go to the rec and pay $40, play the whole season." He was like, "Hey man, you gonna be a swimmer or something?" He threw the ball in. I caught it though, cause I ain't catch it, but I'm gonna tear it up. I was like, man,
You know what would have been worse if you ain't catch it, you hit one of these.
Ooh. You pissed him off,
He's
didn't
like,
you?
I told you.
oh, man.
I told you.
We'll save butters for another episode.
Oh yeah.
Oh, oh,
I ain't never
Yeah,
seen a nigga
man.
can't catch, boy.
I
Oh,
got
Lord.
to
I
go.
know one.
But yeah, I'm done though. Yeah, you go.
Well, all right now. All right now. But hey, that will conclude before we, give y'all a spill that y'all can't get away from. So we're gonna conclude it for episode 2. We appreciate y'all once again for tuning in. Those that listen this far, if you listen up to this point, I know that you're walking away with at least one gem. I want to say at least 2 or 3, but I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt and say you're gonna walk away with at least one gem.
Hey,
But
if you listen to this point, we appreciate you, man.
simply, it's definitely the love we appreciate. We want y'all to continue to please comment below what you think. Any advice, any thoughts, questions, concerns you may have for any one of us. The group as a whole. We all ears, so we appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, and please tune into episode 3. It's only gonna get better over time, and we got so much topics to talk about. A lot. It's just a matter of time.